Hello, welcome to Chilling and Chatting with a Dilophosaur. I am your hostess, authoress Dilophosaur, and this is part 2 of my second new game playthrough of the Resident Evil Remake for the PS5. So, I mentioned last episode that I am a noob. I have tried to play this game on normal mode multiple times, and each and every time, my butt was zombie chow. I do not have all of the little tricks and tips down for movement, navigating halls, even as Jill, who again is much easier to play. For those of you who can hear that, that is my phone, my notification sound on my phone. It is programmed to sound like Markiplier screaming. It's a sound bite from one of the more frustrating recordings for him. He's playing Mario Maker and not having an easy time of it. But yes, I'm just gonna stick on very easy for now until I can get what the Resident Evil community, I should say, calls juking down. That is, getting in really close with the zombies and moving away at the last second so that their grabbing animation misses you, and you can get a couple of seconds reprieve to move around the hall. And also, I found a third old key right beside the typewriter in that save room we were just in. I thought that blinking light next to it was just telling me it was a typewriter. I don't know why I thought that. Now we're going to go open another door. Actually, we're going to open another door and we're going to go into one of the rooms that we haven't explored yet now that we have the broken shotgun. And remember, always come this way through this hall if you do not want to get jumped by zombie dogs. But yes, this is my first Resident Evil. It's not the first one I've watched. It's not the first one I have some kind of familiarity with. Hey, stop. My kitten's out playing right now, and we're trying to teach her some manners. I don't want to go out here right now, but I guess I have no choice. I forgot this door was unlocked. Alright, we're just going to head back in. This is the door to the bath. Yes, that is the door to the bathroom. This should stay empty for a while. But now we're going in here, since we have the broken shotgun. Oh, I think I need an empty inventory for this, actually. Whoops. Okay, never mind. We're not going in here yet. Sorry. We're gonna go out through here. We basically just made one big circle. I now realize. A big circle of nothing. It's the circle of nothing. It has no point. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna go back in here and drop off the ink ribbons. And also drop off the kerosene, because we don't need it right now. There we go. Use a couple of spaces. So now we're going to go use this old key, get it out of the inventory, and then our next goal at this point in time will be the room where we can use the broken shotgun. Yes, but I've watched Resident Evil, this Resident Evil, not the original. I've seen the Resident Evil 2 remake. I've seen the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I'm really wanting to play that one. That was one of the first ones I really wanted to play. I've seen the original Resident Evil 4, RE5, RE6. I've seen parts of RE7. I haven't seen all of them yet. Have seen RE8. No, not that door. I've seen Resident Evil Revelations a long time ago. I didn't see Revelations 2. I've watched the Dark Side Chronicles. Ooh, okay, he's right there. Let that be a lesson on how not to remember where things are in this game. Haven't seen Outbreak. I've seen a bit of Mercenaries, but that's not a game. That's just a mini game. Okay. Unlock this door with the old key, and we can also use the dog whistle now if we went downstairs to get the dog whistle. There's some green herbs. Those are stationary, though. You can't take those with you. And when you use the dog whistle, you'll use it on this balcony here. Now we can unlock this door from the other side. That's the locked door that I tried to go in through first, trying to get out here. You will have to fight 2 zombie dogs, and it is highly recommended that you have at least 2 daggers with you, and I would not try the dog whistle until you have the shotgun. Because again, these dogs are ridiculously tough for what they are. Okay, downstairs. So, I'm trying to think of other games for Resident Evil. Have not seen Gaiden. I'm not sure if that's in English at all. I'm sure there are more, I'm just not thinking of them. But I have seen a couple of the movies. I've seen Degeneration and Damnation, and I thought Degeneration was pretty good. Haven't watched the Hollywood movie series with, what's her name? The actress with her name is very Russian or Polish sounding. I've only seen snippets of, I think, just the first one. And I also haven't seen the Resident Evil series that came out relatively recently. But yeah, I have to remember that guy's there too, because Chris doesn't just step on the thing's head when it falls out of the tub like Jill does. Come on, Chris. Use your brain pot. There's more than zombie chow in there. But yeah, was too young for Resident Evil and too sensitive for Resident Evil when it first came out. So it was not in my repertoire of games. Okay. I'm going to pick up this ink ribbon. And here is the shotgun. And yeah, you notice those handles moving up. Now we can go into the inventory and use the broken shotgun. Replace it. It's basically Indiana Jones when he swaps out the statue with the sandbag. Oh, and here's another dagger. And that should be it for this room. And since we have put the broken shotgun in that holder, the ceiling of this room will not go down to try and crush us. I don't know what happens in this room as Chris, but if you come in as Jill and you don't use the broken shotgun, Barry will rescue her from becoming a Jill sandwich. That's the origin of that famous line, for those of you who are not familiar with Resident Evil, with that, or at least with the memes of Resident Evil. In the remake, they remake that line, and instead he says, "You would have fit nicely into a sandwich." And Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps, I mentioned him, I watched his playthrough. of this game, which is what first got me interested. He made the comment that that line is not quite as funny and kind of sounds creepier, and you know, Barry is a good guy, but I have to agree that this sounds a little off for what it's supposed to be, in my opinion. Okay, now we have the shotgun. I'm gonna put the dog whistle and the first aid spray in here. We're gonna head back out. I'm not sure if we have to independently find the lighter as Chris. Because Jill already has it in her, or she picks it up about the same time as she picks up the, or a little before she picks up the fuel canteen. We're just going to leave that zombie alone for now, I guess. And we're going to go out to the graveyard and pick up some more bullets for the shotgun, so we can be ready for the dogs on the terrace. Oh, I guess I don't need to have the first aid. Well, no, having the first aid spray with me is good, because I can save if I get too much damage during the fight. I can use that, and then if I get any more, I can go and use the green herbs in the... Stop that. This little kitten. People say that having pets, especially young animals, is not like having kids. They are only partially right. Young animals need to be taught how to behave just as much as kids do. They have just as much of a penchant for getting into trouble, and they are not cheap. Not nearly as cheap as they used to be, and they weren't really that cheap then either. Hold on, let me turn on one of her toys. See if that won't. No, that's getting on my nerves. Never mind. Honey, you gotta not do that. You gotta not knock things off. Thankfully, it was nothing valuable. It was just an old phone. Battery's dead, but... Okay. Alright. And of course, keep the pistol on hand as backup. And now that we have unlocked this door, we can go out through it and have a little shortcut. A shorter shortcut back to the medicine room. Okay, we come out here and use the dog whistle. Oh, before equip the shotgun. Yeah. Again, that's why it's highly recommended you have those daggers. Okay. Okay. And the dog whistle we don't need to use anymore. I think you'll get prompted to throw it away when you get to one of the doors. Yeah. So we'll go to this door. Need this dog whistle anymore? Discard. Yes. And now we can pick up the collar. And that will give us another one of the keys we need to start unlocking doors. I feel so sorry for those poor dogs and all the people. Yeah. Alright, yeah, so we have the empty slot. Take the collar. Examine the collar. There's a switch. Will you press it? Yes. A coin was hidden inside the collar, and now we press X on the... Oh, we turn the coin around, actually, and then we press X. And that will give us the imitation of a key. And now we will go and use that in another area. And we may have to deal with our first crimson head. So we come, it's down this way, I believe. Go around this way. I'm not making that mistake again in this hour, hopefully. Tell you what, the thighs on that zombie, they thick. If you go through the other door, this might be a bit easier. Alright. But we have some daggers left over from the dogs. Down this way and get past this guy. And then... yeah, just go straight into the door and that will reset that Crimson Head's position. And you won't have to deal with them as quickly when you come back out. Okay. Ooh, actually I need an empty inventory slot. So... I'm incorrect. We have to go back. And we'll deal with this, or we're gonna run past it, really. I'm gonna go through this door first. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go around it, and that way I can conserve my shotgun shells, and maybe I'll figure out where the lighter is. Yeah. Sorry if you people who are more experienced in this game are getting frustrated, but this is my first time successfully playing as Chris, and I'm still trying to learn all the differences between his playthrough and Jill's. So bear with me. Which is a statement that can mean either please have patience or the heist at the zoo was a success. Don't know what I'd do with a bear. Form a circus or something, I guess, or... who knows? Okay. Actually... where am I going? I got too distracted. I did it again. Asperger's, ADHD, OCD, anxiety, depression, brain... goldfish memory. Ah, so fun having a brain with these kinds of quirks. Oh well, c'est la vie, I suppose. Good, she's playing with one of her toys. Hopefully she'll get in her spot by my chair and go to sleep like she normally does. As of... I think the 25th of last month. Her name is Scout. She's a little black kitten with a white star on her chest, so perfect familiar for a witch like me in this Halloween season. We adopted her not too long ago. Actually a little over a week ago. And as of the 25th of this month, she is 5 months old. Cute, sweet kitten. Trying to get her introduced to the cat we have here now, who has had a lot of bad experiences with other cats, and it's going to take a little while to warm up to the idea. Okay, now we have that one open spot, and we can head back out. October is my favorite month. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Fall is my favorite season. And here where I live, the mornings are finally starting to dawn cold instead of gone warm like they tend to over the summer. And I can feel the autumn in the air. And it is just so nice. Hopefully we'll have a decent winter and get some good rain before the cold sets in. It's a bright day today. I thought I heard tell that there was going to be rain sometime soon, but I guess we'll see. I am not a person who enjoys the heat. I am very heat sensitive. And since we had my high school graduation, we had about 240 people on the football field on a cloudless day, 100 degrees, 3 hours, and they only brought enough water for enough of us to get one 8-ounce drink through the entire sitting. My body has never recovered from that, and it is not a fan of the heat, and I never was, but that just made it worse. And my body it has a tendency to run a little more dehydrated than natural either, so that was just not a good scene. Okay. May whoever takes this emblem find peace in death. We'll take this key, which will then trigger this nasty little trap. And then we will use the imitation of the key. If you don't have the imitation of the key, or you don't have enough empty slots, just put the key, the real key, back, and that will stop the trap. And we could go further on down this hall, but there's no reason to, because the door at the end is not something we can unlock. So now we have the armor key. We're going to go around and find the doors specific to that key. Yeah, again, just leave these birds alone, and then they won't bother you. I don't know if there's anything you can get from them specifically, but I just leave them alone. This is not the game where killing things can get you item drops. I'm not entirely sure what game. I think that was Resident Evil 4 is when that started, but don't quote me. I'm not an expert. Yeah, I like Resident Evil. I think out of all the zombie stuff that I've read or watched or what have you, this is my favorite. Zombies typically aren't my favorite genre. I just think they're kind of boring and overdone, but I mean, it's definitely interesting. And it's really interesting, like the origins of the zombie, which you might know. Okay, use the mansion key here. Just go ahead and get this door open down here. So, for those of you unaware, the first popular media that ever dealt with zombies was Night of the Walking Dead, old black and white movie. Use the mansion key, get all these doors unlocked. And it was based off of the original, or kind of based on the original zombie lore. So the word zombie is, it's a Haitian word, and it's specific to Haitian voodoo doctors of that kind of black magic tradition. They would make this toxin, or this potion from the toxin of the deadliest fish in the world, the fugu fish, the puffer fish, for those of you who don't know what a fugu is, or have never heard of fugu. And what it does is, it won't kill you, but it will put you in a state that is near death. Actually, we can put up the shotgun and get some more inventory space. But it would, instead of killing you, it would put you in a near death. It would put you in a coma, is what it would do. And the voodoo lord would magically revive you from the grave after everyone thought you were dead. And he would use his other potions and mastery of black magic and hypnotism and stuff like that to make you his slave. And that's where the term zombie came from. It wasn't actually about the literal Walking Dead, although people certainly thought it was that way. Alright. Barry has left us a nice little present. And we are going to have handgun rounds to spare. And for the record, while I was trying all the normal difficulty, I looked up online what people said to do to get around the zombies. You know, use ammo, make the most of your ammo. And it was just kind of a mixed bag. It was let the zombies get up close and shoot at their heads, or let the zombies get up close and shoot at the knees. And statistically, if we're talking RNG, the knees of the zombie do tend to be easier to destroy than the heads. But it seems the most reliable method of escaping zombies is to just learn how the animations work, do all the timing right, and just run around them. Yeah, we'll see this note here. I left some bullets in the room on the right. I'll go ahead and look for a way out. Wesker. Oh, okay, so it's Wesker. That helps you. Yeah, because Barry's off helping Jill. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, but then the actual decaying dead from like a virus or something that came into the public consciousness, it's locked. It's an old-fashioned lock. Oh, okay, so that we'll need another old key for that. And then this door's already open. There shouldn't be any enemies in here on the very easy and easy difficulties. There's nothing in the drawers or on the shelves. Okay, oh, here's an old key. And again, these old keys are not present in Jill's run-through. Take the ink ribbon. Examine this first. Not use. I always get mixed up with this. So, I read it is random what you get from these things. You can either get one of these first aid sprays, or you can get some green herbs, 1 or 2 green herbs. And then we'll come back in here after we use the old key. And get what's on the floor. Now we go into this room. And if we were as Jill, we would have an opportunity to have a optional scene with Barry in this room. Researcher's will. There is a letter. June 3rd, 1998. My dearest Alma, let me first apologize for not being able to call you. A man wearing sunglasses didn't permit any phone calls. Sorry, Alma. I sit here trying to think of where to begin. Of how to explain in a few simple words all that's happened in my life since we last spoke, and I already fail. I hope this letter finds you well, and that you'll forgive the tangents of my pen. This isn't easy for me. Even as I write, I can feel the simplest of concepts slipping away, lost to feelings of despair and confusion. But I have to tell you what's in my heart before I can rest. Alma, please believe that what I'm telling you is the truth. The entire story would take hours for me to tell you, and time is short, so accept these things as fact. Last month there was an accident in the lab, and the virus we were studying leaked. All my colleagues who were infected are dead or dying, and the nature of the disease is such that those still living have lost their senses. This virus robs its victims of their humanity, forcing them in their sickness to seek out and destroy life. Even as I write these words, I can hear them, pressing against my door like mindless, hungry animals. Alma, I have tried to survive only to see you again. But my efforts only delayed the inevitable. I am infected, and there is no cure for what will follow, except to end my life before I lose the only thing that separates me from them. My love for you. In an hour, I'll have entered my eternal sleep, where there is peace. Please understand. Please know that I'm sorry. Martin Crackhorn. I think this note is actually, the content is just a bit different in Jill's playthrough. Okay, we're gonna go back out, and we're gonna drop some things off, and then we're gonna come back upstairs. Yeah, that's one of my nightmares, is getting involved in a bioweapons scenario. Diseases and... I know radiation isn't a bioweapon, but pathogens and radiation and stuff like that are one of the things that just get under my skin and make my skin crawl, or like poison gas and stuff like that. Ever since I was a kid, that has been those have been some of the most disturbing things that I could think of. Just this stuff that you can't see, you can't necessarily even feel. You don't even know that it's there until it's potentially too late. I mean, it's implied that a lot of the STARS team members have either really high resistance to or outright immunity to the T-virus, which is why they can get bitten, you know, so many times and, like, nothing happens. But still, that's just so... That's such a spooky thing to think about. Yeah, those and my other nightmares, which involve living things, are being chased by creatures that have very large teeth and want to eat me. I have always had nightmares about being chased by dinosaurs and being out in open water and being hunted by sharks, specifically great white sharks, and crocodiles. Like those kinds of nightmares will wake me up and my heart will just be racing. And even though I'm a lot less sensitive, and there's a lot of things that don't really scare me anymore. Like, it takes a lot more to get under my skin now than it did when I was a kid. Those are still some things that really creep me out. I'll probably never swim in the ocean anytime soon or ever again, as much as I love the sea. It's one of my favorite places to be. Or the beach, anyway. And I'm probably never gonna vacation anywhere where there are crocodiles. But, yeah. Just really spooky. And, like, all the dinosaurs are either from Jurassic Park, which I like now, but that used to scare me as a kid. It didn't scare me at first when I was a kid. When I was really young, like in kindergarten, that kind of thing didn't scare me. I just thought it was so cool. And then as I grew into an older kid, it freaked me out. But I tell you what, if any of you have watched the original Land Before Time, made in like the 1980s, I think, Spielberg production, like the OG and the best one, the T-Rex in that movie, he is like what all other animated T-Rexes wish they could be. He is scary. He can move with his size and you won't hear him unless he lets you hear him. He can jump like a freaking ninja. He can fall down canyons and just be in a coma for a few days and wake up again and be totally fine. Getting a little distracted here. we put the lure here, and then we put this bee specimen in this. Ow! Ow! No, ma'am, don't do that. She attacked my feet, and we're trying to teach her not to do stuff like that, because that is a big no-no. Okay, so... You just stand there and let it sting you? Okay, run here really quick, and then just leave the room. I don't shoot at this thing. I'm not gonna waste bullets on this thing. Or a bullet really doesn't take. It's not that bad. And even though they call that a giant bee, it really looks like a hornet. It's probably based more off of the Japanese suzumebachi, the sparrow bee, or as we know them more colloquially in the West, murder hornets. These things are several inches long. They are extremely intelligent and can remember a person's face. And it takes pretty much nothing short of an act of God to get them to stop chasing you if you are the unlucky fool who has disturbed a nest. And they prey on Japanese honeybees. And to survive them, the bees have, to survive, good luck. But the bees have developed a particular mechanism specifically for these insects. They will mob the individual hornets en masse, and they will flap their wings and raise the body temperature, raise the temperature. And these bees, like, they can just barely survive the temperatures, like by a degree or a fraction of a degree or something, that these hornets can't. And that's how they can take out like a lone or like a couple of those bees. But if a hornet's found the nest and he's already led, or she has already led her, oop, dang it, I thought I would get that right. It's the lancer guy first, and then it's the axe, and then it's the shield. Actually, hold on. It's the lance first. I know that one. I know that's true. Oh, I think I just went ahead and solved this, so that's nice. That wasn't too bad. It's lance first. And I want to say then it's shield, and then it's axe, and then it's sword, if I'm remembering that correctly. Woe to those who disturb my sleep. We press the switch, and that will open these bars at the back, and we can get the jewelry box. And then we can examine the box. And what we will do is we will press this switch and this switch, because as you can see up here, we have the moon and the sun. We press the heart, it will open the box, and we will get this death mask. And this is one of the masks we need, if you've been paying attention, for down in the crypt where that hanging coffin is. Now, we don't ever have to come back to this room again. And we don't have to go back ever to the rooms where the bee was. And I'm going to save this room for later, specifically because, and again to remind you, if you go through that door, know and have opened the shortest path to the medicine room. You will need it. Okay. And we are going to go this way now and keep using the armor key. But yeah, the T-Rex from Land Before Time, especially the way he's animated to do all of that stuff, is just, even as an adult, it is terrifying how competent this thing is at killing other things. The other side. Oh, I guess we already got rid of this guy. Or he's not there anymore. Okay. And we're not going down there. So we can go in here and see if there's anything we can pick up for now. There shouldn't be any enemies in here as far as I know. Get this ink ribbon. We go down this way, and we don't push that way. We push this back this way, and we get this musical score. We're gonna go find an item box and drop some stuff off. Yeah, Don Bluth, back in his heyday, was a fantastic animator, and I wish his storytelling skills didn't suffer how they did. You can hear that. That's a sneeze from way downstairs. The stairs act as a sound tunnel to this upstairs den where I'm sitting. Land Before Time, Secret of Nim, and I Say All Dogs Go to Heaven. Of course, Banjo the Barnyard Cat was his first success. Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2. I was never good at those games as a kid. I could never figure out how to play them because I was too young to understand how they worked. But fantastic animator. And I love his policy for making, like, he worked at Disney, and he broke away from Disney because he didn't agree with the direction the company was taking. But I love his policy for making movies for kids. And that was, kids can handle the scary stuff so long as you sandwich it between happy stuff. And in my opinion, that's wrong door. That's pretty true, honestly. You know, at least for most kids, I would say. Because, like, as much as some of his movies were legitimately scary, and actually The Land Before Time had to be, it was like, originally, it was like an hour and a half long, but they had to cut a lot of content. That was either, like, it had to do with the Tyrannosaur and, like, how scary he was, or scenes that had subject matter that was, for the time, a little too dark for a PG film. Oh no, we've got a zombie want to come in from that door. Okay. Alright. We're just gonna keep going down here and ignore it. Yes, zombies can open doors in this game. Clever girl. Since we're on the subject of dinosaurs, too. But yeah, you can actually find some of the stills and some of the animated bits that were cut from that movie, like on YouTube. And yeah, they're pretty intense for, you know, for young kids. And that movie was, much as I love it, it's a great movie. It's intense enough for that particular age group. But yeah, I tend to agree with Don Bluth on this one. It's like, kids are a lot more resilient, especially, you know, with parents who are discerning with the movie choices than we might give them credit for. Okay, I'm just gonna get past this guy. We're not gonna kill him. Oh, no, there's blood. So he dead. Oh, he dead. Alright, and I'm gonna check and see if I can use the kerosene on this guy just so I won't have another Crimson Head to deal with in this very narrow corridor. Yeah, kids, in my opinion, kids need to learn about the dark stuff, and they need to learn, you know, before they start turning, like, 10 or whatever. You need to start teaching them when they're fairly young. They need to learn about death. They need to learn about, you know, racism. In Land Before Time, that was one of its themes, was low-key. Low-key themes was, like, racism and overcoming prejudice. You know, we can't shelter our kids. They gotta learn the world is a dark and cruel place, and bad things happen. Bad things happen to people that we love. Things that... Oh, okay, so he does already have the lighter. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, you know, especially talking to someone who has lost family members, had to deal with death from an early age. Like, it made me cry. And there was definitely some existential dread, even though I didn't understand what it was at the time. My parents, you know, they were compassionate and they said the right things at the right time, and I got over it. Like, you know, the movie Bambi, like Steven Spielberg, when he watched the movie as a kid, it really freaked him out. And he would go down at night and check on his parents to make sure that they weren't dead. But, you know, that's just a fact of life. And, you know, the Bambi remake that's in the works now with Disney, they said they were gonna change something about that scene to make it more, I forget what the exact terminology was, but it was like more accessible, more family friendly. It was something that didn't have the best implications, and like people came out and they were just like, you do, like so many people just went, you do not touch that scene. That scene is perfect. It is one of the perfect ways to teach kids about death and about how horrible the world can be. Like, and I'm glad that I watched it, and even though it really left its mark when I was a kid. But it taught me from a young age how to deal with that kind of thing. And that's, again, I am 100% behind that. That is so true. Bambi's such a good movie, though. Like, I've heard reviewers call it, condense it into it's just the life of this deer. It's kind of boring. And I'm like, in my opinion, personally, like, what's so boring about the life of a deer? It's all the ups and the downs. It's life. What's boring about life? Brilliant animation. Love the storyline, even though it's not like super action-packed. It's so heartwarming and sad and dark, and it touches the entire spectrum of emotion. Okay, actually, before we go in there, we're going to go to this other door that I kind of forgot about. Yeah, Bambi. All those Disney movies from that time, or most of them, were just so good. Were so good. They didn't shy away from the dark topics. You know, they just made them age-appropriate. Great animation. Lovely music. I wish Disney would go back to that. Now they're in their downfall era. All of the karma from all the questionable decisions are coming home to roost, as it were. It's Forrest from the Bravo team. There are deep wounds all over his body. There should be a dagger right here. And then you can't use kerosene on him, unfortunately, so we're going to go ahead and go down to the end of this walkway. Oh, man. Didn't know how many that would take. Yeah, but he's tough and he is fast. That's the first time I've been bitten by him, actually. Actually, ironically, bending over to pick up these herbs, I've had more success with juking this guy than just turning around and shooting him. And then we don't need to use kerosene on him, we just leave him here. And that should be everything for this area. Yes, okay, now we can just go. I am recording, aren't I? Okay. I'm just moving around faster than I think I am, because I'm more familiar with the layout of this place. Yeah, but Bambi, Robin Hood, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. Cinderella was a bit later, but... Okay. That took me down to caution. I might go ahead and just use an herb just to be on the safe side. Because on normal mode, you can take like 2 bites from the front, and that will, from what I can tell, that will just kill you. Whereas in this game, you can take like twice that, depending on what it is. Yeah, Disney up to the point of the Renaissance was great company. Mostly hits. Now, they're not my favorite company anymore. And poor Pixar, they dragged Pixar down with them, in my opinion. And, like, I know that Disney, the original Disney, wanted the live-action remakes to be done, which I understand. But, man, they, for the most part, they did not handle the live-action remakes very well. The only one I really liked was the Jungle Book live-action remake. I'm not going to say the original Jungle Book is a bad film. But, that being said, I cannot stand what they did to Mowgli. And I say that because I have read the original Jungle Books, there's more than one, by Rudyard Kipling. And Mowgli, as he was intended to be, a child raised by wolves in a dangerous jungle, is such a badass. And the wolves are so badass. And most of the characters are just so much cooler and so much more intelligent than in the first Disney's Jungle Book. Is such a different beast from the movies. And in the original Jungle Book movie, well, I'll continue this later because we're about to hit a cutscene.
You.
Chris Redfield, Alpha Team. We're here to rescue you. Richard, what the hell happened to you? Chris, this place. Get your team out of here. Demons everywhere.
Don't talk. He seems to have been bitten by a poisonous snake, but the size of the bite mark is huge.
It's not just any ordinary snake. Take my word for it.
He needs serum. I left it in another room.
I'll go get it.
Please hurry.
Hold on. I'll be back.
Okay, and you'll automatically go out the store, and the game will show you via the map where you need to go next. Yes, so the other save room. And thankfully, once you have all the doors unlocked, it's very simple to get through. I got turned around the first time doing this, and Richard died on me. And thankfully, I saved not long before, and so I just restarted the game and went the right way this time. Yeah. So you shouldn't be going through more than like 4 doors, including the one leading into that save room to get the serum. Just keep running. And again, yeah, get all the zombies out of that particular hall so you don't have to deal with them. And then just run back real fast. But in the original, back to the original thing I was talking about, the Disney Jungle Book movie, Mowgli is just so whiny and so helpless. Like, this was a kid that was raised by wolves and raised to survive tigers and elephants and water buffalo, and like, this kid can't do anything for himself. Bagheera and Baloo have to save his ass. They are the only things keeping this kid alive. Like, he would, if I was his mother or one of the wolves in his pack, I would be so embarrassed. What were we teaching this kid? But in the remake, like, the remake is actually a lot more faithful to the original Jungle Book and the parts of the Jungle Book that dealt with Mowgli and Shere Khan, specifically the tiger. Like the water buffalo stampede, the reverence of the animals to the elephants and what they can do. What else? I did like how they did what they did with Ka in this movie also. You know. But yeah, just the spirit of the original Jungle Book was a lot more present in the remake, and I thought plot-wise and character-wise, not just character-wise, it was a lot better.
Hope this is what you wanted.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you a shot now, Richard. Hang in there.
Here. Take it. It's a radio. Take care of yourself, Rebecca. Richard.
He's okay. He's just unconscious.
Rebecca, it's not safe here. Let's get Richard to a safer place.
Right.
Psst. Don't attack my feet. Sorry. Having
Richard's
to parent.
doing well, Chris. He should recover soon.
Good. Richard needs you now.
As soon as Richard gets better, we'll come after you.
Rebecca, you okay with a gun?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to continue my investigation.
Be careful. Okay?
Yeah, we save Richard. Okay, I'm gonna go back in and see if there's anything we need to pick up right now, because I have less than 4 minutes. But for those of you who aren't familiar with this character, this is Rebecca Chambers.
This room is equipped with all sorts of medical supplies. I could pretty much treat any wound. Want me to treat your wounds?
No, not
No,
right now.
I'm okay. But if something should happen to me, I'm counting on you.
No problem. But we're very short on medical supplies, so take care of yourself.
But she is Rebecca Chambers, and she is one of the protagonists in Resident Evil 0, which I have also seen. And I'm gonna... Actually, I need to get ready for a boss fight. So I'm gonna bring... the shotgun. Actually, no, because I have to pick up some items on the way. I'm gonna be near an item box, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. And we're gonna head back over. And so I guess we get 1 or 2 free heals from Rebecca here. But Resident Evil 0 deals with what happened with the Bravo team of stars when they first came to the mansion, and all the events leading up to the T-virus, dealing with the T-virus in the mansion in this game. I have seen Resident Evil 0 long time ago. I thought it was good, you know, but I don't remember a lot of it. But it's one of those Resident Evils that people either like or they don't like. Some people think it's really weak. Others think it's just, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. It's one of the lower rated Resident Evils. Some people like it. Some people don't. They say it's the weakest, one of the weakest games. I liked it when I watched it, but I'd have to rewatch it to see exactly, you know, what my opinions would be on it now. But again, another game I have not played. I have only ever seen. And Rebecca's character between this game and Resident Evil 0, there's some, or at least from the original, there was a lot of discrepancies that people didn't like. And they didn't like it specifically in... Oh, jeez, okay. Deal with this guy. Come on. Less than a minute left. Good lord, take your sweet time. Oh, there he is. Run down the hall. Make sure he doesn't get up. Yeah. And blew out his knee. So now I don't have to worry about using the kerosene. Okay, less than 30 seconds left. We're gonna head off and we're gonna save. Got a lot of good stuff done this game. And next time we will be exploring the room where we found Richard, and we will be fighting a boss. So like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you next time.